So this is Scott and Cliff Waite and Camille Vosk, and we're just going to take a few minutes and talk about the Smarter Balanced Digital Library. With the Smarter Balanced assessment, of course, we've talked a lot about the the end of year assessment, the big final summative assessment, and that is part of the Smarter Balanced framework. But in addition to that end of year test, there's two other pretty large components that go with the Smarter Balanced test. One of them is our interim assessments, and we talked about that a little bit in our last principals meeting, and we'll have more discussions about that to come. The other part, though, is this digital library for formative assessment, and it's something they put a ton of work into. Rod Rapp from our district was part of a state team that helped work to develop and coordinate and to vet the resources that are here. So it's really a great tool for our teachers, and we're ready to open that up for teachers to use. And so the process for that is at the Technology Center, Camille will upload a file into the Smarter Balanced website with all of our teachers' email addresses, and then they will get an automatically generated email into their boxes that will give them a link to go to log into the library. So we're going to walk through that process with you. You can share this with your teachers, and then if there are questions, then they can direct those back to Camille. So we're going to start here with Cliff. Camille just set Cliff up in the system, and so he's in his email, and he has this email from Smarter Balance. So we're going to go through the whole process of logging into the site, and then just do a real quick introduction to what that site looks like and what tools are there for teachers. So I'll let Cliff take it from there.
Okay, so I'm going to copy this temporary password just so I have it on my clipboard. You can just right click and hit copy once you have that highlighted. And I'm going to go ahead and click the link into our Smarter Balanced library. It's going to pop me over to my browser, and so your username is going to be your email, and then I'm just going to Control V to enter in that password, or you right click and paste that in there, that temporary password that I copied over. Then I'm going to click login, and it's going to prompt me to enter in a new password. So again, just put in my temporary password there, and I'll add my new password.
And as far as the password goes, I think that there's just a constraint about using a number inside of the password. I would recommend that teachers, principals use their current district password, but again, as that changes, it will not sync, and so this will be a unique password just for the Smarter Balanced websites, and you may want to make a note of that somewhere.
Okay. And it's going to have us prompt a security question in case we ever need to get back in. If we lose our password and need to reset that, it'll prompt you for that security password. And then we've got our terms of service that it'll have me agree to. And at that point, it's just going to have me verify some personal information. I'm not going to worry about uploading a file right now.
So it looks like it's just a little bit of demographic information here as far as what subject areas teachers teach, those kinds of things. So, and again, if there's a red asterisk, of course it's going to be a required field, and so you'll want to make sure that teachers are completing those required fields as they go through this initial setup process. Okay.
And this is just letting me select what's visible to others as far as privacy. And this is what others will be able to see. So
okay, so that actually gets us into the Smarter Balanced Digital Library. So again, this is a collection of resources that have been created by other teachers, educators. not only in Idaho, but across the Smarter Balance Consortium. Again, that's a consortium of about 20 or so states. And so they've come together over the last couple of years, created these resources regarding formative assessment specifically aligned to Common Core standards, and could be a really effective tool for teachers as they're looking for instructional resources in their classroom. Okay, so once we log into the Smarter Balanced software, you'll notice there's a few menu bars across the top. Here on the left, there are two main tabs. One is a digital library resources, and we'll get in and we'll explore that here in just a minute. The other one is forums, and forums are discussions, again, that are happening among educators across the Smarter Balanced consortium. And so you can kind of click on that. There's some filter options there as well, but kind of just see some discussions that are happening around formative assessment and Common Core standards, and teachers are of course welcome to participate in those discussions too. But let's go ahead and take a look at the digital library resources. One of the most important things to know here are the filters at the top. There are over 2,000 resources in the digital library, and so that's going to be too many for teachers just to browse through. So really it'll be critical to use these filters. And so we're going to take a look at math to get us started. So Cliff is going to pick a math standard. Notice we have both practice standards and content standards available. So you can pick either one of those, and then grade level. You can filter down to those that have been tagged for certain grade levels. Media types, why don't you go ahead and grab that drop down, we'll just see. So you can notice here that teachers can select if they're looking for a specific media type, videos, images, documents, interactives. So there's quite a few different media types that are there. We're going to leave all those unchecked, and that way it'll search for any of those. And then under resource type, we're going to take a look at the different resource types. So they have both professional learning resources. Those are ones that are really geared towards teachers, kind of teacher professional development and ideas to share among them. And then there's instructional resources, which are the ones for teachers to use in the classroom. And then of course you have a combination at the bottom. So we're just going to look at instructional resources on this particular search. And then Cliff can click on apply the filter, and we'll see how many that narrowed down. So that took it from, again, several thousand resources down to just 75. And then here are some resources that teachers can take a look at. So Cliff's going to take a look at the one on quadratic functions. Notice they also have some star ratings at the bottom that are teacher rated on how effective they feel that these are. So once you click into the resource, you can see the resource there. There's an option to download that. Before we download this particular one, why don't we take a look at the tabs across the bottom. So there's some information about the resource. It kind of has a summary about it. It has the different standards that it's aligned to, who the intended audience is, what types of media are included in it. So it's some pretty good descriptions about what is in there, as well as evidence of how the teachers used it. And then let's take a look at those tabs on the top. So they have about the resource, collaboration. So it looks like they have some discussion about that has been posted about this particular resource, either questions or comments that others have, other teachers' reviews of the resource. Okay, and then they have some tabs for sharing it, and so this is kind of at Amazon, and I was there on the initial discussions as we were developing these, and kind of an Amazon purchase type of approach that by rating these, and hopefully teachers can see which ones other teachers have felt are the most effective. Okay, and then there's some other related resources that teachers can click on and use, similar to this one. And then what was our last tab there across the top? Or sorry, right below that. And I think that one is if teachers come across a resource and for some reason they have concerns about it, then they can flag that, and again, the people at Smarter Balance can take a look at those and review them. So excellent. And then if their teachers do find one that they particularly like, there's an option to favorite that and make it easier for them to find down the road. So quite a bit there, but really just a great great resource for teachers to get in and explore. Something you can certainly share with teachers during Wednesday collaboration time.
Familiar with the filters, there's always the help button up here in the top right hand corner, and that will pull back up that opening tutorial if they have any questions about how to use it or what's available.
Excellent. So yeah, when you first log in, you'll see this tutorial. Did you see that when you started? And so just a good thing to go back to, and it will some excellent kind of screencasts that will walk teachers through both an introduction to it and then just a few key things to know as they start to navigate it. So hopefully teachers will use that. So key things to know is we will upload teachers, we'll say,
Next week.
yeah, probably next week. And then that'll give you a chance to have the discussion or let teachers know that that's coming. And we'll send out an email ahead of time so teachers know that they'll be receiving that email from Smarter Balance, that it's safe to click on those links and go ahead and create those accounts.